Welcome. In this video, we'll be looking at the stock functions that you can perform at the BPOS till. On the standard main menu of the BPOS till, there is a button called Product Menu. Within this menu is where the stock functions are found. But remember that BPOS tills can be customized, and your individual tills may have this button in a different location, or it might be called something different. Okay, let's go into the product menu and let's look at the stock functions that we can perform at a BPOS till. You'll see across the bottom there are 5 functions that I can achieve in my BPOS till. I can perform a stock loss, I can do a restock to the store that this till is currently in, I can do a stock transfer from this store to another store within my venue. I can also do a stock receipt from suppliers, plus I can also do a stock take at the till. Let's start with the stock loss function. A stock loss is a procedure you do when you have either wastage or breakage of a product. The stock loss will deduct the products from the stock system. It will also decrease your profit for the shift. When you're doing a stock loss, you simply ring up the products as you normally would for a sale, but then you finalize on the stock loss key. An important function in stock loss is that you can have a product which has ingredients. It will then do a loss on those ingredients. Okay, let's do a stock loss of 2 products in my system. Firstly, we ring up the products. Then we go into the product menu and we select stock loss. The system asks me to confirm that a stock loss is what I wish to do. I select yes, and now I can enter a description that will be linked to this stock loss in the back office for reporting. Once I type this in, the system has now performed a stock loss. These 2 products will be deducted from the stock system, and also the cost prices will be deducted from my profit for this shift. Going back into the product menu, we see that the next 2 options is restock and stock transfer. Essentially, these are the same function. The difference is that the restock will transfer items to the store that the till is in, whereas a stock transfer will transfer items out of the store that the till is in. Let's have a look at the restock function first. You'll see that as soon as I select it, it prompts me to enter a description for this transfer. By default, it shows me the till name and then the word transfer. This description will be linked to this stock transfer when I report the transfer in the back office. For the moment, I'll just accept the default description. Now I'm presented with the standard stock transfer window. At the top of the screen, I can select the From store. As you see, I can select any store within my venue. The To store has been automatically filled in for me, and it's locked in as Bistro. This is because I selected the restock function. If I had selected the stock transfer function, the From store would have been preset to Bistro, and I would have been able to select a To store. We'll have a look at this a bit later. Below the store selectors, I have a summary of total entered items and total cost X for this transfer. Then I have a box which will show me the details for the product that I'm currently selecting to transfer. Lower down, I have the current date and time, and then I have a window which will show me all the products that are currently in this transfer. Across the bottom of the screen, I have numerous buttons. I can delete all the items in this transfer. I can clear an individual item. I can change an item. This might change the quantity or the size that I'm transferring. I can search for a product, and I can also exit this transfer. Let's go ahead and add a product to this transfer. If your till has a barcode scanner attached, you can easily scan the products that you wish to transfer. Alternatively, you can type in the product number or the barcode number, or we can just use the search product button. Once I click this, I get the standard search product dialog. This will list all the product groups on the left, and then all the products in each group on the right. I can easily find a product just by simply selecting the group on the left. Alternatively, I can click on the search button and then search for a product by name. Once I've found the product that I wish to transfer, I simply add it to the transfer by selecting it and then typing in the quantity. You notice now that the summary at the top of the screen has been updated to have one item and a cost X value of 11.22. This is because my operator privileges not only allow me to see the cost X, but also the quantity on hand. This is why in the product details box, it shows me the current quantity on hand to be 22. Lower in the screen, it will show me the product that I'm transferring, the quantity, and the cost X. I'll go ahead now and add another product to this transfer. Looking back at the buttons at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that I have the option to delete all. If I click this, it will ask me to confirm I wish to delete all the entries. I'll say no at this point. I can just clear an individual item. I can highlight the item and then click on the clear. And once again, it asks me to confirm that I wish to clear it, which I will not. And lastly, I can change an item. When I click on this, the system prompts me to either change the quantity to transfer or even change the size. Okay, the last option is now changed to send and exit. Once I select this, the system will prompt me whether I wish to transmit these to the server now. I'll say yes, and you'll see that this transfer has been sent to the server and has been updated. My transfer is now complete. The till printer would also print a receipt detailing this restock. At this point, just a note on operator privileges. The operator I'm using has the operator privilege to post transfers, in which case, at this point, that transfer is fully posted. If, however, my operator privilege does not allow me to post transfers, but it does allow me to create transfers, I can still create the transfer in the point of sale. And then, when I save it and send it to the back office, it will wait for an operator with the appropriate privilege to post it and fully update that transfer. If this is the case, when I first entered the transfer function, the system would have warned me that I do not have the privilege to post transfers, only to create them. Going back into the product menu, we notice that the next option is stock transfer. As mentioned before, this is the same as a restock, except when I go in there, you'll see that the from store has been pre-selected to bistro, and now I can select the to store. Once I do this, all other functions and options are the same as a restock. The next option in the product menu is the stock receipt function. This means I can do a stock receipt from a supplier. Once I select this, I'm firstly prompted to select the supplier that I'm receiving stock from. Then it prompts me to enter the invoice number from the supplier. You would read this off the invoice that you've just received. Now I'm presented with the same screen as I had before for my stock transfers. You'll see now I can select the store that the receipt will go into, and then I can simply add the products the very same way I added the products to a stock transfer. Once I select a product, it will also ask me to enter the cost. You see that the products I'm receiving will list on the screen similar to the stock transfer. As with the stock transfer, when I've finished, I select the send and exit button. The receipt that we just performed will either be fully received into stock, or it may only be set to a status of pending. This will be determined by my operator privileges flag. If the receipt is set to pending only, it would then have to be fully received in by an authorized operator in the back office. The last option that we'll be looking at is stock take. You can enter stock take counts at any till. Before you do this, you should definitely watch both the manual stock take and the stock take using Smart PDE videos to cover the details of how a stock take is performed in BPOS. As you would recall from these videos, BPOS supports both full stock takes, where you count every product in your venue, or a partial stock take, where you may only wish to count particular products to check on them. The stock take function at the till is probably not the best function for doing a full stock take, but is very powerful when you're doing a partial stocktake. This means that you can go into any location with a till and do a stocktake on only particular products that you wish to monitor. When I first select the stocktake function, it firstly checks with the server to see whether the venue is currently in stocktake. In this circumstance, it is warning me that there is no stocktake in progress. As it says, if I do not start a stocktake in the back office, I will automatically perform a partial stocktake. This is what I'll perform. You'll see that now I'm presented with the stocktake entry screen. This looks very similar to both the receipt and the transfer screen that I've seen earlier. In fact, all the options at the bottom of the screen are exactly the same. At the top of the screen, you'll see, as usual, I can select the store. If I pull down the store, you'll see that all the store names are in brackets. This is a visual guide to warn me that none of these stores are currently in stocktake. But as you see, that it will allow me to select the store and then add products. As I go through adding all these products, it will show me the quantity on hand and the difference if I have the operator privilege for this. Once I have finished all my counts, I can then select to send them to the server just like all the other options. This will now initiate a stocktake for the store that I've done the counts for. I would then go into the back office and verify the variances, do reports, and update that stocktake if I wish. This has covered the stock functions that you can perform at the BPOS till.